podcast with our host, Mitchell S. Karnes. The Cleansing, you have a date for when it's coming out. When's the book coming out?
Yes, the last week of January.
I'm excited. This has got to feel amazing. Another book. And we've literally gone through the gamut in 1 year together, right? First book, and now The Cleansing's out. And what do you think is going to, without giving away the other books, I think the first thing people need to do is order the other books before they read The Cleansing. But you could just read The Cleansing.
But they can be standalone as well.
But I think that they should, especially with the series coming out and everything, go ahead and buy these other books. I think a couple days before, maybe have a little ebook discount or something. We'll figure all those different things out. But your website and autograph, we'll talk about that. But go ahead now, Mitchell, and talk more about The Cleansing.
All right. The original title was The Curse. And as I went through it and started writing it and editing it, it became more evident to me that it was like a cleansing. That was even in the dialogue of the book. And if you've read book 1 and book 2, you have a character that's hinted at in the end of book 2 that is the main antagonist throughout. And then that person uses another person. And so they join together on tasks to carry out what they call this cleansing of Nashville. And so Abbey is trying to stop. So this is really the first one as a serial killer going through and progressing as she goes and challenging wits with Abbey. As Abbey starts to get close with that, then you have the past, again, the PTSD that comes crashing in on her, which conflicts against her finding out the cause of this and the person of that. And so this mystery is different from the others. Who's doing it? You just don't know who's going to be murdered next and how to catch that and how to work all that out. So Abbey is struggling against, and of course, she has that gut feeling, and the rest of the homicide team has a different feeling, and she's trying to clash against that network where they think this, and you got to follow this line, and she gets in trouble because she goes with her gut and goes against that.
Wow. Okay. So when you talk more about it, is specifically enough, this is not going to be just one murder in this one.
No.
Is this a surprise to your readers to see this? We're really seeing that murder really happens. And what did you learn from the homicide unit, working with them? How many real homicides are there a year in Nashville?
Oh, gosh, quite a few. A lot more than I thought. Of course, most of those are like drive-bys or shootings or things of that nature. I spiced it up a little bit with different kinds of ways of killing them. And of course, the way they do this, that's part of the cleansing that you figure out. What I'm trying to do with each novel in this series is not to have a cookie cutter. So each, like Watergrave, had its own little intensity and it was all contained within the church. Whereas the least of these was on 2 different sites. And so now this one's a serial killer. Book 4, which I'm about a third of the way through writing, comes out in July. That one's more of she's trying to stop the murder from happening, and she's got a timeline that she's following. So this is Abbey's Road. Whereas book 5 is going to be almost more psychological with one death. And so I'm trying to mix it up where it's not the same thing every time. And so I hope to surprise them. That's what I'm looking for in this, so they can't just figure it out and go, oh, here's the pattern. This must be this person.
Abbey must be torn, especially getting in this industry, still very young compared to her other counterparts, to see this amount of murder.
Yes, and the majority of them are male. There's only 2 female in the entire homicide unit. One is at the night shift and she is in the day shift. She's really trying to stand her own against the system.
Wow. I mean, it's a pretty difficult, challenging thing to think about, Mitchell, because the murder, the mystery, but to know about murder. So you said a lot of them are drive-bys, but there are more murders than you think. A lot more. Are there serial killers in Nashville?
There have been. TBI gets involved in that. Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, like the FBI, they would do that as well, because the person that is one of my consultants, she is in the homicide now. They were working on, last time we talked, they were working on one that was in multiple states. So she's dealing with the Tennessee part of that in conjunction with another state. But this was a serial killer that they came across and worked with another team and coordinated with the FBI.
Very interesting stuff, Mitchell, about serial killers and how popular it is and all these different things. And that's why the series putting murder, there is murder mystery, but to the level that you're giving us with crime scene investigations involving Christianity, there's not a lot of people doing this, right?
No, not from the Christian aspect. There are very few.
And that's why I guess your agent and everyone in the team is so excited about this.
Yeah, we're trying to get that niche between what is the Christian, almost like Hallmark type. Everything wraps up neatly and packaged and everyone's loving each other at the end, versus the secular where it gets really dark. And of course, there's a lot of foul language and gratuitous violence and sex. And I'm trying to get something that is clean, and yet it deals with those hard and difficult issues. And that's why I was invited to be a part of the Brave Authors for 2026, a group of 12 authors that deal with the difficult as a Christian, deal with difficult issues that no one wants to tackle.
And that's new for the Christian genre, okay? Yes. Even think about the popular movies that have done so well. I think when we started seeing the trafficking movies that involved the Christianity, that's when it really changed. Even some of these others, they're going into deeper topics. The plane, I can't think of these, and this is because I didn't know you'd answer those questions. But think about the one that the airplane pilot, it involved faith in certain aspects, but yet still had a lot of deep, dark things. Yeah. So you don't know, you're not thinking you're being evangelized in this, but yet it's showing people's faith. It's giving a great story, and it's really giving what the true life is when something like really seriously happens. And you're seeing the true humanity and empathy of Christians and non-Christians in this book, in these books.
Yeah, because look at the Bible. It doesn't shy away from those difficult issues of rape and violence and murder and kidnapping an entire nation under siege. I think we do injustice to think that Christianity is this Pollyanna, everything's going to go right. Those people that preach all this, I can't even think of the name of it, but that everything is going to go perfect once you're a Christian and you're going to get all this finances, you're going to have all these wonderful things coming to you. Yes, God blesses you, but they forget that the blessing is God's presence.
I got it. All right, MitchellSKarnesAuthor.com. Some big things in the news. Soon you can order autographed copies on the website, and the cleansing is going to be available pre-order. I'd hope we could have that up and running probably in a week, because the book you said is going out about the 30th, right?
Yeah, about the
29th. 30th. But that gives us enough time for pre-orders for the first 7 days, and then you'll get an autographed signed copy shipped by Mitchell. Appreciate it, sir.
All right.
All right. That was a special simulcast of the Neil Haley Show and the Mitchell S. Karnes podcast, guys. Take care.